You finally had a few minutes to sit down and chat.
Right. Thank goodness.
How was break with the kids?
It was good. Yeah, it was a long time with those little monsters.
No wonder you. So you wanted to give them back.
Yes, I wanted for a little bit.
All right. Well, hey, we're gonna just have this coaching session. I know that this is the second year we work together.
Mm-hmm.
And as the 504 campus coordinator, we have worked hard to get in compliance. That was the push
Yeah.
last year.
Thank God you came.
Now that we've got everybody in compliance, you and I had talked about trying to get in some classrooms
Mhm.
and do some coaching. And the one thing that we keep saying over and over and over is the teachers not being able to do check for understanding.
Right.
So many of them still think thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, let's
Yes.
move on. So
Do you get it?
I know. Yes, I do. So I just wanted to just do this debrief with you about the observation of the transition class.
Yes.
I think one of the things that we can keep doing together is when I observe you and debrief with you, you know how it's structured.
Mhm.
That way when I go in and observe and debrief with the teacher, you'll be more easily to follow up with what I did and what I
Yeah.
said. So,
Okay,
and
that's
these are
helpful.
just, right, and they're only gonna focus on the 504 students. So
Okay.
one thing I wanna just make sure we let the teachers know is to relax. It's just the 504 students, we're
Mhm.
just checking to make sure you're doing this accommodation
Mhm.
correctly. Because I know it's just another person coming in their room.
Right.
So at the end of this meeting, I'm gonna just work with you on just to implement a new strategy with Check for Understanding that you're gonna be able to do in your next transition class. It's
Okay.
real easy. One of the things I like about this is it doesn't cost anything, you don't have to laminate anything, it's free, it's a free
Yeah.
technique. So I'm gonna talk about the strengths of your lesson, some of the areas for growth, and there weren't very many, and then spend some time, we're just gonna spend some time practicing.
Okay.
So I was able to go to your transition class, and one of the best things I like, I'd already seen it in the learning lab, the culture of error that you have in here.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's afraid to ask questions. All the kids understand this is a safe place. So I've just, even the way you have taught the teachers that are in here under you to do that, so I just really wanted to just compliment you on that. And you also had it during that transition class. Budgeting's a hard thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were struggling. When they thought, a mortgage is $150,
Yes.
I was like, go Nicole.
Or what debt is.
Yes. So the culture of error that you have in that transition class was amazing. One of the earlier coaching sessions before Christmas that we talked about is that I noticed through the data that 2 of the 504 students only answered once in the class period, whereas the other students answered 3 and 4 times.
Okay.
And as I'm seeing that, it's already across the board with some of the 504 students. So we wanted to figure out how we can get that engagement. One of the ways that you did that, you actually did it 3 ways. I had asked you to work on managing your tell, and you did a lot better with that. You were absolutely neutral, and they were given just cockamamie, cockamamie answers. You managed your tell, you remained neutral. So that was effective that you did that. And there was a couple other ways. On domain number 1, it talks about praising risk-taking in academics. You did that great, and there's a specific example that I saw you do that. When the 2 boys were sitting there and they were struggling, you said, I love the fact that this is a hard question, and I see so many confident hands in the air. Thank you for taking the risk. At first, their hand was kind of like this, but when you said that, they were like, I got it. One of the things that you did that I thought was very effective is you moved closer to them. What prompted you to do that? Or
Just because you had talked to me about making sure they knew who was receiving the praise, and just to utilize my relationship with them.
Yep.
They trust me.
Yep.
And so.
They got through that tough part about the debt. Then when you started going on about some other topics, you could tell that they were really struggling about like the fixed variable and and the non-variable. So you went back over there, and just as a whole group, you were not let them be anonymous. You said, this is a tough question. If you're struggling with it, that's a good sign. What did you notice about their body language in their small group when you said that?
They relaxed.
Yeah.
I think they often, because in class teachers will say, this is so easy, and they don't think it's easy.
Yeah.
And so then they've kind of been defeated and they don't try anymore. So I thought, if they know, I know this is hard, then we can relax a little bit, because it takes away that vulnerability of letting me know that they're struggling.
And that's a perfect example. They so often just say, this is so easy.
Well,
It's
not for
easy
me.
to me.
Yeah.
That's right. So during my observation, the effectiveness of 1, you're praising their efforts, encouraging the risk-taking, and managing your tell. Both those boys volunteered 3 times during your class period. So that's
Excellent.
amazing.
Didn't
From
realize
1
that.
time to 3
Yeah.
times. So that's what we're looking for in the glows. And then with you, and I do, you are on the continuum where you are almost highly effective.
Mhm.
So what I'm gonna work on for your grow is how to get that to the
Okay.
highly effective, because you're doing a great job with the things that I just mentioned. So, well, normalizing error is powerful, and what